Shocking images showing the scale of destruction in Mariupol. Ukrainian officials say Russian forces have intensified their bombardment of the port city on Thursday, as the base of the state emergency services was destroyed by shelling, and firefighters dig through rubble for survivors in residential areas. It comes a day after the bombing of a maternity hospital on Wednesday, with 3 dead and scores wounded from the devastating strike that destroyed a children's and a maternity ward. The strategically located city has been subject to heavy bombardment for several days, and its mayor claims over 1,200 have been killed in the pounding, and mass graves up to 25 meters long have been dug for those who've been lost. Situated by the Sea of Azov, Mariupol is a key strategic target for Russia, as seizing it would allow for a land corridor between Russian-backed rebels in the east with troops in Crimea. The city remains cut off from communications, with depleting resources of food and drinking water.
Eastern Poland, where foreign forces have come and gone for centuries. Once again, the streets of Przemyśl echo, this time to the sounds of American boots. Sightseeing, but still a visible presence to reaffirm America's commitment to its allies. In Warsaw, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris confirmed the delivery of U.S. Patriot missile defense systems to Poland. Economic sanctions remain the main U.S. weapon for isolating Moscow and exacting a high financial price for the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But as long as Russia controls the skies, Ukrainians pay with their lives.
Нитро.
Алло, Нитро для удара.
Передаю.
Нитро, я удар.
Алло,
Нитро, я удар. Слушаю тебя.
удар я Нитро. 6-й полк почти потерял.
Что?
6-й полк пока не могу доложить, пока собираю. Очень много потерь. Ждали. Голова колонны попала в засаду. Командир полка погиб. По остальным разбираюсь.
Сейчас как разберешься, всех соберешь, мне доложишь, как понял.
Оттуда били артиллерия, танки. С беспилотника, так я понял, Байрактары летает. Остальным сейчас потерям разбираюсь.
Just days after Russia invaded Ukraine, a Russian warship ordered Ukrainian soldiers manning a Black Sea outpost on Ukraine's Snake Island to surrender. It was the "Go F Yourself" heard round the world, and tonight we're learning the Russian warship that attacked Snake Island has been destroyed by Ukrainian forces. The Times of London reporting that the Vasily Bykov seen in this earlier video was hit during a firefight after the Ukrainians used a smaller vessel to lure the Russian ship closer to shore, where a hidden missile battery could open fire. This is video going viral online as that Ukrainian missile battery unloads on the Russian warship. After the missiles stop firing, you can see a small light in the video. That's the Vasily Bykov on fire, and the gunner is quick to celebrate his hit.
Попалась, сука! Русский корабль, иди нахуй!
We effing hit them. Russian warship, go F yourself.
Russia may refuse to return hundreds of airliners rented from foreign firms, and that could spark new chaos for an industry already battered by years of lockdowns and soaring oil prices. Russia's airlines have over 500 jets leased from foreign companies, worth billions of dollars. But Western sanctions mean the leasing firms have been given until March 28th to sever ties with the country's carriers. That has led to a game of cat and mouse around the world as lessors attempt to repossess the planes. They're having limited success, with just a handful seized. Now a draft law published Thursday shows Moscow intends to bar its airlines from returning planes if leases are cancelled. It will also order them to pay for the leases in rubles. Industry experts say it all guarantees years of expensive legal disputes.
Japan joined other nations in sanctions against Moscow and has also banned exports of oil refinery equipment to Russia. There are historical tensions between the two countries, with their dispute over who owns the Kuril Islands just off the coast of Hokkaido. It's one of the world's longest-running territorial disagreements. It's the main reason the countries failed to sign a peace treaty at the end of World War II.
Known as the Southern Kurils in Russia and the Northern Territories in Japan, the archipelago is surrounded by rich fishing grounds and is thought to have offshore reserves of oil and gas. Russia says it's planning a special economic zone on the islands, and it's beefing up its military presence. In December, Russia deployed coastal defence missile systems near the islands as a show of force on Machua, a deserted volcanic island in the middle of the chain. Sovereignty over the Kurils has been disputed for centuries. The islands were occupied by Soviet forces at the end of World War II. Japan disputes Moscow's claim of sovereignty over the 4 southern Kuril islands closest to the main Japanese island of Hokkaido.
The United States is set to ramp up sanctions against North Korea after concluding that its 2 most recent missile launches were aimed at testing a new intercontinental ballistic missile system. The North tested suspected ballistic missiles over the last 2 weekends, but Pyongyang claims the experiments were aimed at developing a satellite to gather information about US military activities and those of its allies such as South Korea. Washington's careful analysis found that the North is instead working on a relatively new intercontinental ballistic missile system ahead of a potential ICBM launch at full range, disguised as a space launch, according to a senior US official speaking to the press on the condition of anonymity. The official added that the new ICBM in question, the Hwasong 17, was first unveiled during a 2020 parade in Pyongyang.
Since the start of this bruising campaign, Conservative challenger Yoon Suk-yeol had remained neck and neck with his Liberal rival Lee Jae-myung. Exit polls put them within a percentage point of each other, and so began a sleepless night for many in South Korea following local broadcasters' animated depiction of this epic struggle until Yoon emerged as winner.